He can't take care of you like this. Now you're lost in the heat of it. He can't take care of you like this. Now you're lost.
Hey bro, go fuck yourself. In the hashtag, he says all men, and it's a not all men joke, but he's brandishing a hammer at the camera. Do you not think that that's insensitive? Not to mention, this isn't your joke to make because you're gaining attention and a platform off of something that you do not experience. I just got a huge wave of adrenaline because I've had weapons brandished at me. I was a homeless person for all of 2021. I lived on the streets of Portland, Oregon, and the homeless here don't just fight with their hands. Every single one of them pulls a weapon first fucking thing. I was a homeless person in Portland, Oregon for most of 2021, and I've had weapons brandished at me on a daily basis, and I had to fight them off with my hands. Because I can't use weapons. I don't have that privilege. I can't afford to get arrested. I'll die. And while I'm shadow banned on all platforms, he reaps the benefit of my lived experience. So yeah, fuck all men. This one especially, because he's honeypotting domestic violence victims. And if he's not doing that, then he's triggering us by thinking it's funny. And that it's a joke, and that it's his joke to make, to brandish a camera, to brandish a hammer at a camera as if he's going to attack someone and making us see that shit. It's insensitive to the fact that PTSD is a real thing. Fight or flight chemicals are a real fucking thing. Have you ever had to dodge a gang rape, sir? I have. Thank fucking God. Have you ever had somebody lift up an axe who used to date while you're on live video? Then shut the fuck up. And if you want to be a comedian, go get some original material. Okay, I was probably pretty mean in that other video. It's gonna happen sometimes. I have a rage disorder where I do release too much adrenaline. So it happens. But also, I would like you to actually hear me out. It would mean a lot, actually. I can see that you want to help. You want to help the world be a better place. And I'm all for that. I'm all for helping you be able to do that. We need men to help us. I'm not saying that it's not your place here. We need you. You guys are the strong people who have been watching for centuries, thousands of years as we get hurt. We don't need you to make your own post. We need you to defend us when it matters. You are the brute strength. You have the brute strength. I'm not saying we're not strong. There's different types of warriors, but you have the brute strength, and you guys are silent. And I'm not saying that what you're doing is evil or that you are evil. I'm saying that it's harmful. I would like... There's other ways that you can help. Include with that hammer. Does that hammer that you'll go help somebody in trouble, does that only apply to people with houses or people you want to date or think that you're cute or something? You don't have to just go give them things. You can ask them if there's anybody that they need protection from, because there probably is. There probably is, and it's probably a man. If you really want to fight to defend us like you're saying you'll do, that's where you can go ask if somebody needs help. I guarantee you that those homeless women that you'll find and you'll talk to like a human being, instead of just giving them spare change or random trinkets that they probably can't use and can't store and can't carry. You can ask them if they need help, because when I was homeless, I didn't really need little people's things that they gave me. I needed help from the men that I was fighting every day, but absolutely nobody would defend me. But I bet you they make TikToks like this. Point you to women that need help defending, because it is your city's homeless. That's where you can find the women who are at risk of rape probably every day. Probably had a lot of black eyes, a lot of them. Probably a lot that people watched and didn't help. So I can help you find people to defend with that hammer that you're saying that you'll help defend women with, but you don't want to do that because you wouldn't actually help us with a hammer, would you? So then it's harmful for you to make us think that you would. You're not doing this because you are an ally. You're doing it because you said you don't like the trend, not all men. You not liking the trend, not all men, isn't more important than women not having to see men say they'll defend us when we know that they don't and they won't. We need people actually doing, not saying they will. Sir, you made a post claiming to be a vigilante, and then you're saying it's not performative. It is performative. You're not a vigilante. You're not a fucking vigilante. Quit pretending that we have help that we do not. Women in this country who face violence ask for help, and we don't get it. We don't get the help we need because people pretend to be vigilantes. But when we need help and we ask for help, this is what you say. You say, it's vigilantism for me to help you. Sorry, instead I'm going to sit and watch you be hurt. That's what happens. You're making people think that we have help that we do not. A house is on fire, and you're telling the whole neighborhood, no, I already put this one out, but it's still fucking burning. That's why it's harmful. You're only getting defensive. You said no strings attached on that video, but being defensive is a string. I don't think that you're actually willing to use a hammer to defend a woman in need. If you're willing to use a hammer to defend a woman in need, I can point you to women in need. You're still continuing to only be defensive. Even though you're apologizing, it's defensive. Apologizing is defensive. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. I don't need your apology. I'm trying to tell you how you can better help the world. And I call bullshit. And so are a lot of other abuse survivors, and you're making them see that, not just you with a weapon. You're making them look at another person who pretends on the internet like they would help us. But actually, whenever we are in need of help, we look around and we cry. We cry, we desperately cry, and we articulate. No matter how much we articulate the danger we're in, they don't help because nobody's willing to risk their actual safety. Nobody helps us because in order to help us, they have to risk their civil rights, and we're being punished cruel and unusual. You know what? I don't believe you, and this is an example of really bad allyship. You're making excuses and you're using your medical diagnosis as a shield. I'm ADHD too, bro. You liked other people's comments who were defending you, and you didn't like mine, and then you made comments defending yourself and dismissing me immediately. I'm not dumb. This isn't my first time dealing with a dumb man defending himself using absolutely every defense in the book except for actually just listening to me. You could have just heard me out and been an actual ally. You didn't. If you continue to treat women like this, you're not helping us. I had to fight men, and I wish that there was a man with a hammer. And you know what? There wasn't a man with a hammer, even though there was a bunch of men around me. A bunch of men with guns and uniforms. And you know who helped me? Fucking nobody. I helped myself. I drugged men by their fucking hair and dropped them off on the court steps because it's the city's problem that they're making homeless, disabled people deal with. I was homeless not because I do drugs. I don't do drugs. I'm disabled. My health issues are why I had to fight men every day. I'm sick. I'm a sick person. So you want to talk about sickness being an excuse? It's an excuse for you to just do something that I'm telling you is harmful. And you're going to continue to do it. That's what you're saying, is that you're going to continue to do it. Please don't. I am concerned with you gaining a platform from defending women. I'm concerned for our safety with you doing that. You're showing red flags that you're not ready. Do you know how I became an ally? I studied for years. Ever since Bernie first ran for president, I've been training to be an ally, like specifically. I've known the term white ally since 2016 and been actively devoting my life to helping. Allyship isn't just for black and white people. Allyship is something we all need. A lot of us are suffering. When I told you that you had done something that I didn't like and didn't appreciate and thought that was harmful, your first reaction was to tell me that you're a survivor of sexual assault when we didn't bring it up. If you're just talking about your sexual assault, that's different. But if you're saying it in response to a woman who's trying to tell you that what you've done is harmful, then that's the same thing as all lives matter. You're saying that as a reaction to me to silence me. That doesn't help. I'm asking you in the nicest way possible that if you want to help the future, don't do this. This isn't for you. You're too new. You don't know how to do this. And it's dangerous. What you're doing is dangerous. It can put your life in danger. We're fighting really big people. There's a war on us. And it's not you who has to bear the consequences.